What's up? Welcome into your Buckeye Rush Hour for a Wednesday, the hump day, November 8th, 2023. Welcome in, everybody. So just kind of digging around trying to come up with some topics for today, but I'm going to have to get up and walk away in about 15 minutes. I'm going to have to walk over and turn off the Instant Pot. Got a pork shoulder going, and I can't have that shit drying up. So, all right. I will get to your comments. Drop your questions in the chat. Anything you want. Probably not going to go till 5:30 today. I have a ton of shit going on that I need to get done tonight. So probably 5:15 is the best I can do if we're really on fire. But quick question for the chat. Please help me out with this one. Same question as Monday. Has Ryan Day been arrested yet? No? Has anyone filed suit against Ryan Day? You know that's coming too. Anyways, here we go. Let's get into it. So I'm going to go just off the top of my head, basically position by position, where we stand, who's injured, who's not, that we know of anyways. So let's start with the quarterback. Kyle McCord does still have the sprained ankle. It's heavily taped every game. He injured that against Notre Dame a few weeks. Well, shit, that's been like 5 weeks ago, 6. So he's still dealing with that. Devin Brown could be back this week. You know, if we get up big, I wouldn't be surprised to see Devin Brown come in and hand the ball off a few times. He's still recovering from his sprained ankle. A lot of bad ankles on the offense recently. Who else? Jebbia and Kineholes are fine. I imagine Jebbia would come in if Devin Brown can't go in the backup role. Who else? Let's go tailbacks. Chip is fine. Mayan is out, of course. Trey seems to be fine. So we'll see what kind of workload they give him this weekend. Dallin has 2 more games till he burns the red shirt. So he can play in 2 more games. He's played in 2, can play in 2 more, but you want to save those 2, for last resort, break glass in case of emergency situation. That's the running backs. Receivers, Marv's still dealing with his ankle. Emeka working his way back, should be back close to full strength. Will probably start again this week. We just need to see him knock some of that rust off and get him back in game shape, really, moving like Emeka moves. Everybody else in the receiver room should be fine. Tate, no injuries there. Fleming, he's always kind of iffy, kind of dinged up, shoulder issue or whatever, but I think he should be fine. Yeah, that's about it on the receivers. Then tight ends, Cade's dinged up. He's got the huge knee brace. He's got a wrist issue, so wouldn't be a bad idea to probably hold him out this week. And then G. Scott will probably get the start, I would imagine. I'd be surprised if they really push it to get Cade in there. Now, maybe next week you can get Cade in and get him back in game shape and stuff, but you do run the risk of re-aggravating stuff, no matter what the injury is. And you might see Patrick Gerd some more. I don't know what's going on with Joe Royer. He's been apparently injured all season too. I was looking at the snap counts, trying to, read between the lines here. And Joe Royer has 38 snaps in 3 games. I don't know. Jelani has played in 2 games. I think they're working on a red shirt situation for him. Ryan Day was kind of non-committal the other day or yesterday in the press conference. So G. Scott would be good enough this week. If Royer can't go, then you bring in Gerd. That's fine, just to get us through this Michigan State and maybe even Minnesota games. O-line, haven't heard any issues with the O-linemen at all as far as injury goes. These guys have played pretty much every offensive snap all season. Simmons, Donovan Jackson, Hinsman, Matt Jones, and Fryer have all played 588 snaps. That has to be like all of the snaps, right? I think that's it for offense. On defense, JT might have a little lingering injury. I don't think it's anything major from that. I think Jack got him with a helmet once last week, or was that 2 weeks ago? Anyway, I think he's fine. Sawyer should be fine. Seeing an uptick in Jack Sawyer's play is always good. Everybody on the D-line should be good. Abor, I'd be surprised if we see much of Amari Abor this week anyway. Tyleek is okay. Mike Hall, Mike Hall's just not really showing much production lately. He's got 326 snaps on the year through 9 games, but still he's not getting that typical Mike Hall production like we saw last year against Notre Dame and stuff. Ty Hamilton is taking some of his snaps too. But along the front, along the D line, I feel good about everybody there. Now Tommy Eichenberg, he's got an arm issue. Not real sure what that is, what that's gonna do as far as his play. Does he start? Does he play at all? He left, forearm/elbow is what I'm finding for Eichenberg, but obviously he's one of the baddest MFers on the team. Played last year with no thumbs, literally. He had a huge ice wrap on his arm at the Rutgers game when he pulled out. So I don't think it's a break or anything like that. He's not going to play through a broken arm, but I do think that it's not a big deal if he sits a game. Now, it's a big deal to him, but Cody Simon can play the mic. He played it 2 years ago, and he's filled in occasionally for Tommy. So, and then Jim Knowles mentioned Gabe Powers yesterday, so maybe he could get some snaps at linebacker. CJ Hicks should get some snaps this week, but as far as injuries go, we'll see if Tommy plays the entire game or not. I would like to see him rested for a game, or at least play a half, at the most. Then the secondary, this is where we have a lot going on, a lot of moving pieces and parts and stuff. Starting with the corners, Denzel Burke. I don't think you need him for the next 2 weeks, so I have no problem him sitting, especially if it's a leg issue. Again, they are very nondescript when it comes to these injuries coming out of Ohio State. So that's fine. Jermaine Matthews has been more than adequate filling in, and I don't see a need. You got IGB in there. Then you got Hancock at the nickel slot. That's fine. Ransom at the safety. He's trying to come back from a foot injury. That's all we have is it's a foot injury. It's not sounding good the way Ryan Day has been talking in the press conferences. So I'm not super positive on that one, but we'll see if they move Sonny back to the deep safety, move him up to the bandit, whatever. He can play both. I think he looks better. I think he plays with more confidence when he's up close to the line of scrimmage, like a bandit or a linebacker, which I think he might eventually grow into. But Josh Proctor had the head injury, got a little knocked out basically last week against Rutgers. So he should be back, though, assuming he passes all the protocols and stuff. Then you got Malik Hartford, the freshman, started off the season in the rotation at safety, but then quickly got benched. And, Knowles didn't like what he saw early in the season. So, but because of attrition, all these injuries, Hartford is probably going to be pressed into duty. Then Kai Stokes, too. he has played virtually none this year. I got for Hartford 90 snaps and 5 games plus special teams. Then Kai Stokes, last week was his first snap. He had 1 snap last week. That's it for the season. So, you got to assume Hartford is ahead of him. And what's up with Jihad Carter? He's played very little this year. The transfer from Syracuse. He's played 77 snaps. So, no red shirting situation there for sure. So it's fine. I think you're going to have to keep Ransom out for at least the next 2 weeks. But Denzel, I think you could see him back for the Minnesota game. And just be careful out there, man. But yeah, next 2 weeks, I don't have too many worries about the defense carrying the game. So let's get into the chat and see what's happening. All right. Who was in first? It was PC, of course. PC and Billy. Billy always a close second, if not first. Both of them came in at 428. Howdy, Billy. Steven, how you doing? Appreciate you joining, coming back. IO to you, sir. PC says, I just want to say, fuck the cheaters up north. I hope the bastards pay for everyone they robbed. And it's got to be the OC and DC too, not just Pocket Glizzy Hairball. Yeah, exactly. Steven PC says, really hoping that Penn State lays it on them this weekend. I think the Tony Petitti and the Big Ten offices agree with you. That would save them a lot of headaches. 9 Days Beard, what's up? Good to see you. Doing fine, RDB. How are you? PC says, sounds like our new guys are going to get a lot of playing time this weekend against Sparty. That's good. It'll pay dividends next year, and we're going to lose a lot. Lose a lot of talent, right? Not lose a lot of games. Just kidding. Jeremiah's in here. Hello, Buckeye Nation. How are we all doing today? Frank, how you doing? Frank likes pork and sauerkraut. Okay, that's a good combo. I'll go brats or knockwurst. Like a good knockwurst and sauerkraut. So thanks, guys. Ryan Day hasn't been arrested yet. Good. Thank you for the input, Odysseus, Frank, and Jeremiah. Billy says, hey, Frank and everybody, PSU can get a seat at the big boy table this weekend. Yep. But James Franklin, this is his perfect letdown spot. He always shits his pants in these situations. What's his record against ranked teams? Like 3-16 or something horrible. It's almost as bad as Harbaugh's. But anyway, Ryan Day says, the question I have, we're 3/4 of the way through the season and McCord is shaky. Does Day look at a portal QB this offseason? Sure, he doesn't want to do this again next year. No, I don't think he'll look at a portal QB. You got Devin Brown possibly returning. I don't know how Kyle loses the job next year unless he's really that bad. I mean, you got to see some progression from his first year to his second year. I mean, we saw with CJ, right? He made some bad decisions his first year. Remember some of the picks that he threw. And then his next year, second year, he was like, throwing darts like he is in the NFL right now. So I don't know. I definitely don't think that Ryan Day goes into the portal for a QB. He's got Devin Brown and then Kine Holes. And Aaron Nolan's coming in next year. I assume he'll be an early enrollee. Not that he's going to get snaps, but they've got a full room. Odysseus says, I'll be interested to see if the TCUN has a new guy whispering in the coordinator ears. Yeah, they didn't last week, did they? Those guys looked lonely on the sidelines of the coordinators. All right, PC's got a score in already, 38-10. Let me jot this one down for you. 38-10. Don't forget, folks, get your scores in before the game on Saturday. Win the free T-shirt. Odysseus, your shirt is on the way. If I didn't mention that, yes, Monday. Yeah, I'm still, Billy. I'm not even thinking about a portal QB. We need other areas, maybe where we need depth. O-line. Water. Ooh, I got to run. Stay right here. Don't go anywhere. Be right back in 1 second. All right, I'm back. Got to let that shit vent. I don't want to overcook it. All right. Still here. Oh, Jeremiah says, hey, Joe, do you know what happened to Mayan, that he is out for the rest of the season? What was that? A knee? Knee or an ankle? Something lower body. I know that. I think it might have been a knee. Dave wouldn't come out and say exactly what part of the body it was, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a knee, ankle, foot, something like that. Let's see. Billy says he's rooting for Penn State. PC says RBD, you could be right about that. I wonder if there's a 1-year rental available if Brown steps it up. I could see him. Yeah, they're gonna have a full room. They don't need more than 4 quarterbacks. Everybody's going to root hard for Penn State this week. I think the entire country is. I can't imagine anybody's cheering for Michigan other than their moronic fan base that still do not understand what illegal scouting is. RDB says they didn't switch to Brown. McCord has been very up and down this whole season. You can see the stress on the receivers' faces. We're scoring like 24-28 in Ryan Day-like offense. We're scoring a little more than that, but regardless, it's closer to 30. But regardless, this is not the same offense. This is not C.J. Stroud. This is not Paris Johnson out there at left tackle. This is not DeJuan Jones at right tackle or Luke Whippler at center. This is a very different team from last year. You're going to have to, I mean, it's the game 10 we're going into here this Saturday. We're going to have to like put those thoughts out of our head. You know, it's a new quarterback, new O-line. Billy says maybe Lincoln will surprise everybody, be the guy next year. I'd be shocked, Billy. Very shocked. Odysseus making the grand prediction. Everybody likes to make grand proclamations this for a guy that's not even on campus yet. Says, I think Aaron Nolan takes the job. No, I disagree 100%. Frank asks, is Marvin Harrison banged up? Yep, we touched on him. He's got an ankle. He's been nursing since the Notre Dame game. Steve, how you doing, Steve? Welcome in. He says, he's just quoting Feinbaum. If Michigan wins the national championship, Jim Harbaugh is getting that trophy. I think the rest of the sport is going to turn his nose into. Yes, I saw that. I agree with you, Steve. It would suck to be ashamed to cheer for Michigan from now till the end of time, you're right. Because everyone will think of cheaters. Yeah, Stephen, I agree. He'll need at least a year. Aaron Nolan will need at least a year. RDB says Michigan hired a law firm. They sent letters to the Big Ten today. Oh, I'm worried. Oh, Billy, jumping on the guy that's not going to be here for 2 years. Billy says he's more excited about St. Clair than Nolan. Frank says Michigan moderators threw me out of Mark Rogers' show last night. What'd you say? What'd you say, Frank? Yeah. Odysseus says those losers are going to regret it. Discovery will be a biatch. Yep, that's what they don't want, man. They can write all the strongly worded letters they want. You do not want all of that crap brought to the light, man. Everything. Weiss, whatever he was doing, we have an idea, but Alex Yud kid, everything that Connor Stallions was doing, who now he's in business with Blake Corum allegedly. I don't know what's going on there, but Steve, that's a good one. The law firm's name is Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. Like that. Yeah, Frank, Michigan fans do hate facts. They're not friendly to the facts. Oh, Doug Shepard says, I have a sick granddaughter at Children's Hospital in Seabus. Thoughts and prayers will be appreciated. Thoughts and prayers to you and your family, Doug. Hope for a recovery. Sorry to hear that, man. Billy says maybe Franklin will let us up this weekend. Fingers crossed. Yeah. I agree, Frank. I wish it was a night game in Happy Valley too. Doug Shepard, Kyle's going to be fine. He's not CJ, except this. Thank you, Doug. Thank you for backing me up on that one. Steve Kindholz is a stud. He is. He's an athletic, freaky guy. Doug says, I've made horrible score predictions. Here goes Ohio State 54, Michigan State 3. Ooh, expecting a nice big blowout. I like that. Let me write this one down. I got you, Doug. Steve has 45-10. Billy asks, who besides Parker Fleming is the weakest link on the Buckeye coaching staff? I don't know if I could choose somebody that weak. I don't know, man. That's a tough one. I know you guys some people like to bang on Fry. I think he's doing as best as he can with what he has to work with. I mean, look at these guys. Fryer's not great. It brought in Simmons. Simmons was the most penalized tackle in college football last year at San Diego State. He played right tackle there. And then Hinsman at center is a redshirt freshman, second-year guy. He's doing as well as I think you could with this lineup. But Fry gets a lot of the ire. I don't know what Corey Dennis really does. He doesn't talk to the media much. I know that. He coaches QBs, but I don't know. He never played quarterback. Not that that's a prerequisite, but I don't know. Seems like he got the job because Herb's his father-in-law, you know. Doug says it would be cool to see Lincoln throw a pass. I would be fine with that in this Michigan State game. Sure, fourth quarter, go ahead. I don't care who's handing off and late in the fourth, but let's see what else we got here. Frank says this is Jim Tressel. All right. Billy, my point is that do we start to question if Fry is the right guy? I don't think so, but oh, Buckeye Frank is in. Good to see you, Buckeye Frank. How you doing? Oh, Frank says I called Michigan cheaters. Oh, on the Mark Rogers show. Good job. That's worth it then. Buckeye Frank says they need to self-impose and hope for the best. Ohio State would have canned day by now if roles were reversed. Oh yeah, the entire staff would be out on a rail if this was Ohio State, man. Everybody knows that. ESPN, they would be setting up shop in Columbus, digging up every little piece of dirt they can find. It would be ugly. Doug says it would be out of character for Franklin to not screw the pooch Saturday. I know. That's what I'm saying, Doug. This is epic Franklin territory to totally mess this up. Odysseus says before Stallions, the Harburglar would F up big games as much as Franklin. Exactly. They both don't have great records against ranked opponents. I was going to look up that stat just so I wasn't completely off my rocker. James Franklin versus ranked teams is okay. It's not as bad as I thought. It's 3-16 against top 10 teams, 12-24 against top 25 teams. That's out of 123 games. So the 3 of 16 is top 10. So doesn't look good. Let's see. Odysseus says still does. He just beat us twice by cheating. Oh, you're talking about Harbaugh? Yeah. Take it easy, Frank. Good to see you. Frank Carone 6. That's right, Steve. We don't give a damn for the whole state of Michigan. Billy says, okay, you guys are higher on Friday than I am, but I'm keeping my eye on it. All right, Billy. I hear you. The Flix capacitor. That's a new one. Oh, you might have been in last time. The O-line has improved significantly from the beginning of the year. Buckeye Scoop has a great video about it. Well, I'm not going to watch Kirk Barton talk about anything. I think he still owes me money, too. Kang, what's up, Kang? Good to see you. Says, interesting, JJ didn't throw a TD or run for one against Purdue. I agree. I noticed that, too, when I was looking at their matchup. He said, if he plays like that against Penn State, they will lose. I agree, because they're not going to be able to rest on their running game against Penn State, man. Penn State is bad MFers against the run. Bad isn't good. Rushing yards per game. Yeah, number one in the country. 55.9 yards per game rushing. Michigan's really slid down the rushing yards per game. 91 they're allowing now. Keep that in the back of your mind for a game in a few weeks. I'm good, Frank. Keeping busy, obviously. Hope you're staying out of trouble. Just kidding. Billy says they have gotten better, but they're still missing a lot of second level blocks. Oh, Billy's talking about the O line. I don't know, man. Trey has two of his best rushing games in his career this last 2 weeks, man. So I think the O line is much improved and doing well. Odysseus says, I could see a few JJ pick sixes on Saturday. Ooh, pick sixes. Now that will give them a loss guaranteed. Pick sixes are a recipe for disaster if you are a Team Up North fan. Okay. Throw out your Michigan and Penn State scores if you like. RDB's got the call out. Billy says Minter and Moore are good coaches and Harbaugh doesn't interfere with them. Of course, they cheat too. Yes. I would say that they actually were more affected by Stalions and his whispers on the sidelines than Harbaugh ever was. But Harbaugh is the head coach, so he's the one that's going to probably take the rap for this. Steve says Penn State 9, Cheetahs 7. I like it. RDB says, I'm taking Penn State to win 21-17. I believe that's a 5-point spread as of right now. So you're just under that. Nooner, 4.5, down to 4.5. I saw 5 earlier today. Let's go back to the chat. Yeah, Frank, I think the Team Up North might be done, man. But see, I don't know if taking Harbaugh off the field is enough. Like we've been talking about, my guy PC was saying earlier, he said it on every show that the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator both got to go too for this to really have an impact. And they were the ones that were helped the most by Stallions whispering in their ears and shit. Steve says, I saw a story about some workers in Michigan that won the lottery, and I commented, you better make sure they didn't steal the numbers. Nice. Troy, how you doing, Troy? They found out it's much more difficult to defend the run when you don't know the offense's plays beforehand. Who knew? Exactly. Run right. That's tough to defend, right? Jesus. Insane. That's right, Frank. Got to get better into November. November is for contenders. Steven Cherry's in. What's up, Steven? Good to see you. Doug says if Penn State beats them Saturday, the howling about them being frauds will be deafening. Right. I mean, and it only supports the stand that they benefited so greatly by cheating. They beat us twice. I mean, how many other games did they win by cheating? And they take away the sign stealer for the biggest game of the season so far, and they lose. That does not look good. Jeremiah says Penn State 31, Cheaters 13. Covadis, that's a cool name. Says guaranteed loss for Michigan. All I have to do is bet on them to win. There you go. Whatever it takes, right? Reverse psychology on their shit. Odysseus says Stallions could still be giving the coordinators info through the headsets. Ooh, he'd have to crack. Could he crack that as a former Marine? Maybe. Yeah, I agree with you, Frank. Anybody that who thinks Harbaugh didn't know are fools. Yeah, he has to go down with the ship for sure. Steve says Big Ten championship ban and O coordinator, D coordinator, and hairball suspended at least 4 games. I like that. Sign me up for that. Yeah, Michigan's 48 hours are up. We should be hearing something. Steve says, then the NCAA comes down hard next spring. I hope it's next spring. I hope they don't drag it through next football season. But you know how the NCAA operates. Quick is not in their vocabulary. Fast is not a word they know. Frank says, I'm going to say they beat us straight up in 2021, but last season was definitely an odd one. All right. But if you know the plays, I mean, it seems easy to win. I don't know. And Stallions was there in 2021. I think he was an unpaid intern or a GA or something. He wasn't on the recruiting staff, quote unquote. So, Steven says that the Buckeyes versus Texas A&M basketball on Peacock Friday. There you go. You got some Friday action on the hard court. Yeah, I agree, Odysseus. I think it would have been we could have won a shootout in 2021. Doug says Minter and Moore will be coaching high school in a couple of years under assumed names. Maybe. Yeah. I agree, Steve. They need priority. The NCAA needs to make this case a priority, but you know. Yeah. I'm going to go for a few more minutes. Then I got a ton of stuff I got to get done tonight. But yeah, I've been refreshing message boards and Twitter all day. Okay, we got a from Adam Rittenberg 14 minutes ago. It was more like 40 minutes ago. Michigan has sent its response to the Big Ten. A school official has told ESPN this. Commissioner Tony Petitti now must decide how to proceed with potential discipline. That's Adam Rittenberg on ESPN. Do you wonder if Petitti just comes back with a 2-game suspension? Some funny shit on these message boards, I'll tell you. So Petitti can give him a 2-game suspension, but then can he give him another 2-game suspension? Like, because he can do that without going to the executive board of the Big Ten. So could he go 2 games, bing bong? Then, oh, you're back? No, 2 more games, bam, on top of that. Could he keep doing that? That'd be interesting. Yeah, Billy Gaddis won the what's the offensive coach award? The O-line won the Joe Moore Award 2 years ago. I forget whatever Gaddis won, but obviously it was garbage, you know. Troy says all we heard for 2 years was they did everything the right way and developed talent better than anyone. I want to see just how good they actually are without their secret weapon stallions. Exactly. Yeah. They kept telling us how soft Ohio State was. Yeah. Easy to say that when you know every play is coming. Billy says Michigan legislature writing letters to Petitti. Go ahead. He doesn't care. The Big Ten is not governed by any outside bodies. You know, a court is not going to hold up. Again, take it to court, Michigan. I freaking dare you. You're going to love what comes out in discovery. Yeah, Steve, I do too. I hope we hear something tonight. Steve says they do have a game to play on Saturday. Exactly. What if they yank Harbaugh off the plane on Friday? Sorry, Jim, can't go. Get your ass back inside. That'd be awesome. Steve says no 2-game suspension. RDB says if they're going to punish Jim Harbaugh, it'll probably be tomorrow because they're not going to do it Friday as they fly out for Penn State. Yep. Frank says, got to remember money is king. I bet it will be just a couple games, and the way he can still hopefully get 2 games in again. Maybe. Money is key, and Petiti is a former TV executive. So, no, Quo, I was saying Petiti could just do 2 games and not go to the executive board. He could just pile on 2 game suspensions on top of each other. That's what I wondered, if he could do that. I hope the executive board does lean on Petiti and make him do the right thing here, because it's 13 other schools, man, that are pretty pissed off. That's a good point, Doug. 2 games per infraction. What constitutes an infraction, though? Every game that they cheated? Because that's like freaking 20 some infractions over 2 years. That'd be nice. I don't know that answer to that question, though, Doug. Stephen Cherry says JJ McCarthy will have at least 2 picks versus Penn State. Oh, you missed it earlier, Stephen. Somebody called, I think it was Odysseus, called for 2 pick sixes. How's that taste? Yeah. Billy says cherry picking JJ. I like it. Buckeye Frank says, right, softest thing you could do is cheat. There you go. Right on it, Frank. Troy says having to cheat to win is the definition of soft. Yep. I think we're all in agreement there. Doug says, I've been saying this from the beginning. Money will be the ultimate determining factor. It's possible. Yep, it's possible. RDB, have a good one. We'll talk to you later. Billy says Petiti has to protect integrity of conference for longer term dollars. That's a good point. I mean, the TV networks are not going to be happy about a less than full strength Michigan team, going forward, but I don't know what to say. It's too bad. TS. Steve says the whole sports world is pissed, other than psycho Michigan cheaters, losers. Yep. Yeah, Frank, you got to strip them of their Big Ten titles at least. That's a starter. But again, vacating stuff doesn't do a lot for me. Vacating wins. We saw them play, right? So go take them away, I guess, and you take away the trophies. They didn't win a national championship, thank God. Otherwise, you'd have to strip them of that. So, yeah, Stephen Cherry's got a good one. He says, let's skip Thanksgiving and get right to the game. I know, man. I start getting fucking amped up about noon on Thursday on Thanksgiving. And then the next 2 days, it takes forever. The next 48 hours from Thanksgiving on. All right, Doug. Thoughts and prayers hit you. I appreciate you. Thanks for reminding everybody to hit the like button also. Yeah, we can't have cheaters in this conference. It's a fucking embarrassment. All right, boys, I'm going to hop off, and I got to get some work done today, but I appreciate everybody popping in. Don't forget, Friday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. I think it's going to be a lively show. We're going to have a lot to talk about. So we'll talk about Michigan's penalties, whatever they are, and get ready for Michigan State. We'll get ready for the cheaters versus Penn State. So, yeah, good point, Stephen. Can't vacate what you never actually won. Bingo. All right, folks. Appreciate you guys. See you Friday. Keep an eye out for the Daily Blitz every morning. All right. Talk to you later. Go Bucks.